I'm Tricia McLaughlin. I'm the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security. I'm joined by Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons and Madison Sheehan, the Deputy Director. Thank you for joining us to address a diplomatic and military security operation that was conducted yesterday by the U.S. government. We conducted a deportation flight from Texas to remove some of the most barbaric, violent individuals illegally in the United States. No country on earth wanted to accept them because their crimes are so uniquely monstrous and barbaric. These heinous individuals have terrorized American streets for too long. Every single one of them was convicted of a heinous crime: murder, rape, child rape of a mentally and physically handicapped victim. Thanks to the courageous work of the State Department and ICE and the President's National Security Team, we found a nation that was willing to accept custody of these vicious illegal aliens. We are removing these convicted criminals from American soil so they can never hurt another American victim, American man, child, or woman. They can never attack witnesses, families, victims, or anyone else.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure that you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, we are going international, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, we go to the People's Republic of Chicago. We go to New York. We go to Los Angeles or Washington, D.C. when we're covering the news. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed to South Sudan. Yes, we are going to the Sudan because Donald Trump, President Trump, is a man of his word. I remember, I want to say it was back in February when I was doing a live stream covering mass deportation, so on and so forth. I played a Fox News clip in which they discussed illegal immigrants being sent to South Sudan. Even in the Fox News clip, the anchors kind of had a nice little chuckle with it. I don't think they believed that it was going to happen. We all on the live stream had a nice, good laugh. Everybody in the comment section and live chat over illegal immigrants getting sent over to the Sudan, because I don't think any of us believed that that was actually going to happen. But it sounds hilarious, right? Cross the border illegally from whatever country you came from and get sent straight to the Sudan. Well, I guess we can't question President Trump's integrity. He's a man of his word. He said that I'm going to send these guys to the Sudan. And sure enough, here we go. Off to the Sudan you go. Have a great time and let everybody know we said hi from the United States of America. This is hilarious. And this is precisely what I voted for. But of course, as I'm sure it's no surprise to you all, you can already see here based on the article title, Biden nominated judge rules Trump admin violated court order after deporting criminal illegal immigrants to South Sudan. Of course, it had to be a Biden nominated judge. And if it wasn't a Biden appointed judge, it was going to be an Obama appointed judge, as it's always either or, one of those two presidents that appointed judges, right? Let's get into this article here and break down exactly what's going on, because this is hilarious. Oh man, he really sent them to the Sudan. This is great. Anyways, let's get into this. The Trump administration unquestionably violated a court order when it put 8 illegal immigrants with violent criminal convictions onto a flight to South Sudan. A Biden-nominated federal judge ruled Wednesday. U.S. District Judge Brian Murphy, who was nominated to the seat by former President Joe Biden in 2024, slammed the White House for failing to provide the men with adequate due process when ordering them on a flight bound to the African nation, of which only one of them is actually from. The department actions in this case are unquestionably in violation of this court's order, the judge said in an emergency hearing, suggesting the White House may have committed criminal contempt. First off, these guys already got their due process. All these guys were convicted criminals, violent criminals. disgusting, vile criminals. And we're going to get into some of their charges in a moment. They got their due process when they were found guilty of their crimes. And now it's time to be deported because you were here illegally in the first place. It is a privilege to be in this country. First and foremost, it's a privilege to be here. You violated that the moment you came illegally. That's number one. But number two, you break into the country illegally, taking advantage of this privilege, and then you choose to commit crime while you're here. And we're not talking about petty theft. We're talking about horrific crimes, horrific acts. Who cares if they get sent to South Sudan? As long as they're not here, I could care less because these are horrible people. And we're going to get into that coming closer towards the end of this video. But these DNC lunatics are crazy. If you care about these guys so much, then allow them. What should happen is that judges, these district judges that keep playing games like this, they should be allowed to house these criminal illegal immigrants in their own homes. Keep them in your house then, and let's see how that works out for you. We'll keep them there until they have their due process, right? I bet you won't agree to that because they're full of it. They don't even want these guys in their little gated communities and neighborhoods where they sit on their high horse looking down at the rest of the world as they're doing all these ridiculous nationwide injunctions, right? They don't even want these people in their neighborhoods, yet they want to keep these type of people in our neighborhoods where regular everyday US citizens like you and me who don't live in gated communities, isolated from the rest of the world, where we're not protected and where we are at risk. Shame on these judges, man. Shame on them. These people are horrible people. And them getting sent to the Sudan, who cares? Good riddance. But I digress. Let's continue. The article continues to read, Murphy alleges that 8 illegal immigrants who are not giving a meaningful opportunity to object the deportation could put them in danger in South Sudan, one of the world's most dangerous war-torn nations, suffering from food shortage, ethics conflicts, and violent crime. I think I speak for us all when I say, who cares? While the White House touted that it has sent the monstrous and barbaric illegal immigrants to South Sudan, President Trump confirmed that the men are currently being held in Djibouti, a small country on the Horn of Africa, where the U.S. holds a military base. So technically, they're not in the Sudan yet, but they are in Djibouti, which is in Africa. And I quote, a federal judge in Boston who knew absolutely nothing about the situation or anything else has ordered 8 of the most violent criminals on earth curtail their journey to South Sudan and instead remain in Djibouti, Trump said in a Truth Social post. He would not allow these monsters to proceed to their final destination. These district judges have to be stopped, man, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Congress is going to have to get with it because Congress does have the power to put an end to all this as it pertains to these district judges overstepping and putting these nationwide injunctions that prevent stuff like this from happening. They have to get to it already, man, and put a stop to this because this is just ridiculous and it's nonsensical at this point. Homeland Security declined to say where exactly in the African country the men have ended up for safety and operational security reasons. Attorney Jonathan Ryan, who represented one of the illegal immigrants, Nayo Mayant from Myanmar, said his client received 2 conflicting deportation notices a day before the flight, with both notices given to him in English, a language he barely understands. Oh, that's so unfortunate, right? But that wouldn't have happened to you if you didn't come to the country illegally, right? So it wouldn't be an issue if you didn't break the law. So cry me a river. I have no idea where he is, Ryan told the BBC. Oh, well, he's, I love these DNC talking points. He's been disappeared by the United States government. Once again, you can spare me with this type of he's been disappeared. He was here illegally committing crimes. So wherever he disappeared to, who cares? I'm just going to keep reiterating that point. Who cares? You're over here terrorizing people. You're over here wreaking havoc to United States citizens. You're not from here. You crossed illegally. And then you came here disrespecting the nation that it's a privilege to be in. He was disappeared. Good. But I digress. Myant, if that's how you say his name, was convicted of first-degree sexual assault involving a victim mentally and physically incapable of resisting in Lincoln, Nebraska. He's been disappeared. Good. A monster like that can stay disappeared. He can stay. He violated a victim who was mentally and physically incapable, mentally and physically incapable of resisting in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is who Democrats are fighting for. This is who they're fighting for. Not unbelievable, believable. Very believable because we're watching them do it in real time. Wow. This is who Abby Phillips is fighting tooth and nail for, too. We're going to get into that clip coming at the end of this video. Abby Phillips desperately wants to keep this man in the country. Desperately. You know, he should have to be forced to be jailed in her home if that's what she wants so badly, right? But obviously they won't do that, will they? They want them in our homes and in our neighborhoods where we're the ones at risk, not them in their gated communities. Anyways, let's carry on and wrap this article up. Let's wrap this up and get to that CNN video. The Trump administration has defended the deportations, with Tricia McLaughlin, the assistant secretary for DHS, mocking Murphy's order to reprocess the migrants as deranged. Myant sexually assaulted a mentally disabled woman with the mental capacity of a 3-year-old, she told the Post. Wow. This Lincoln man is an illegal alien and one of the monsters that the activist Massachusetts district judge is trying to bring back to the United States after he was deported yesterday. Democrats are disgusting people, man. These DNC lunatics, these DNC district judges, these DNC politicians like AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and all these other lunatics, these people are disgusting.
These are the monsters that the district judge is trying to protect. The contrast is brutally stark. President Trump and Secretary Noem are working every single day to get these vicious criminals off of American streets. And while activist judges are on the other side fighting to get them back onto United States soil. Before I turn it over to Acting Director Todd Lyons, I would like to remind the journalists in this very room to do your job. We gave you the names of these monsters as you have right in front of you. Now tell the stories of the innocent Americans who they victimized. I implore you to stop doing the bidding of these disgusting individuals. Tell the stories of the innocents. It's the American victims who actually matter.
Now let's get into this CNN video here where DNC Abby is fighting tooth and nail to keep violators of women, mentally ill women who have the mental capacity of a 3-year-old. She's fighting tooth and nail to keep people like this into the country in this clip. What we're getting ready to watch right now, the question that preceded this interaction here is, DNC Abby, she's so pressed and she's so hurt over the fact that this monster that we just read about and the other monsters, she's so pressed over the fact that they got sent to South Sudan. And she's asking, I believe my man's name is Michael. She's asking Michael, well, why send them to the South Sudan? Why not just send them back to their home country? And I love the way Michael answers this question. Of course, she interrupts him while he's speaking, as she always does, but he stands on business, as people like to say, when she tried to press him on the fact that they're getting sent to a war-torn country where their lives could be at risk. Michael's response to that was essentially what all of our response to that is. And so good. Let's get into this clip right now.
Sending to Sudan.
Okay, but my point is, broadly speaking, for the most part, we have no idea who the people are who are coming into our country illegally. Number two, it is an excessive strain on all resources across the board. Healthcare, crime, school, education, healthcare. We don't have, I keep saying this, I don't know why Democrats don't understand this. We don't have unlimited resources
my question was, why are they,
as a deterrent, to make it clear, if you come into the country, you will get sent somewhere you do not want to go.
So the idea here is that we are going to deter people by saying, you committed a crime here, maybe they did, and we're going to send you. Hold on.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
We're going to send you to a country where we're saying there's a civil war happening. There's a genocide occurring there. We don't know what's going to happen to them. Why not send them back to their countries of origin, which is what we do with everybody else?
We don't know what's going to happen to them there either.
I think that's exactly
and they
the
have
point.
broken the law, Abby. When you come into the country, you've committed a felony. And number two, you have to deter this behavior from continuing to happen because it has become a problem for this country.
So the deterrence is, like El Salvador, we'll send them to places where they might face imminent death.
Absolutely.
And
because that sends a message. If you come to the United States and break.
I'm sorry I interrupted. I know some of you got big mad just now, but I love that. Look at her smug face. She wasn't expecting him to stand on that. You're sending them to a country where they could be facing imminent death. Michael said, absolutely. As a deterrent, yup. You see what happens when you cross the border illegally? Come here committing crime. You're getting sent to the South Sudan, and whatever happens to you when you get there happens to you. Absolutely. And look at the goofy DNC look on Abby's face. She is so pressed and so mad right now. Let me scroll back just a little bit.
And number two, you have to deter this behavior from continuing to happen because it has become a problem for this country.
So the deterrence is, like El Salvador, we'll send them to places where they might face imminent death.
Absolutely.
And
because that sends a message. If you come to the United States and break our laws, violate our immigration laws, it will have severe consequences.
So for unspecified crimes, we don't know exactly what all these people were convicted of. Maybe they were convicted. Hold on a second.
Can I read it?
They were convicted. Maybe they were convicted of very serious crimes.
I'll read it.
The penalty that the Trump administration says is appropriate potentially could be death.
I mean,
right?
I'll read it. Sex offenders, homicide, kidnapping, murder in the first degree, battery, larceny, cocaine possession, murder, robbery, DUI, child sex abuse, and sex assault on someone with a mental illness. The Sudan is too good for these people. And I'm not sure any other country would take them.
But what about their home country?
I'm not sure they'll take them. Would you take that person back?
How do you know that?
Well, one of them came from Cuba.
No.
I have to say.
How do you know that?
I don't care what we do with them. These are heinous, violent criminals, and they do not need to be here. That's all I know.
So let me just play. This is more of J.D. Vance talking about this. Well, a similar issue. This is what he says should happen to immigrants who come here.
These people are sick, man. When you talk about mental illness, DNC lunatics have to be the most mentally ill people in the country. How do you sit here with a straight DNC face like this and argue for monsters who violate women and children? And in this one particular situation here, we're talking about a man from Myanmar who violated a woman with the mental capacity of a 3-year-old. And this is who come on, man. I cannot wrap my mind around how people vote for this stuff as concerning those who vote for Democrats. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. How you can see this hear this and think that this is okay. Now, clearly, this past election, America said this is not okay. And hopefully moving forward with midterms in 2026 and then the election in 2028, hopefully America will continue to maintain the understanding that this is not okay. This is not okay. Because the moment a DNC lunatic gets back into office, they're going to do everything they can to reverse as much of this as possible. They're going to reopen the borders immediately and, like Joe Biden, pretend like they don't know what's going on and pretend like they can't solve the issue, right? So we'll see how things progress moving forward. But at the end of the day, what we're getting right now is precisely what I voted for. And I'm glad to see it. Who cares that these guys got sent to the South Sudan? Whatever happens to them when they get there happens. So what? And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also do not forget to follow me, please, on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.